By 2035, Africa will have the largest working population in the world, larger than China, larger than India, by 2035. People that invested in China and India 20 years ago will tell you that they're making the same bet on Africa. Well, maybe they won't tell you, but secretly, they absolutely are. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm gonna show you what they're seeing and why you should be getting in front of it too. Welcome to the channel. My name is Ashley Cleveland, Africa Wealth Strategist, and I guide smart money investors to diversify themselves in Africa's fastest growing market. I do this with my own proprietary frameworks, but a due diligence process that most investors don't know exists. I've been able to identify quality, trustworthy, vetted talent in the areas of banking, finance, legal, immigration, and business development to help smart money investors invest with clarity, strategy, and confidence. So if that type of content resonates with you, be sure to like this video and follow along for more. So listen, large asset managers like BlackRock, Cargill, they've been maintaining their exposure to Africa quietly for years, right? But what is shifting now is the scale and coordination of corporate companies that are doubling down on Africa's population growth, economic growth, and consumer base, all right? And companies like Microsoft are investing billions in infrastructure, with Coca-Cola announcing $1 billion expansion here in South Africa just last week. And so what we're seeing are long-term commitments, not just short-term bets on what's gonna happen next. So let's get into the data points. Maybe you've heard, maybe you haven't. Demographics, 1.4 billion people, median age of 19, live on the continent of Africa. And the consumer spending that exists now is set to double in the next 4 years by 2030. Not 10%, not 20%, but 100% growth in the next 4 years. So let's talk about the infrastructure gap, or what I like to call it, an infrastructure opportunity. Roads, energy, digital, fintech, rails are being built now, not later. Not later when the population is going to exceed that of China and India. Not later when we're going to see consumer growth double in 5 years. But now, the infrastructure opportunity is huge. The next thing, fintech. Africa has leapfrogged the continent of North America, completely bypassing landlines and desktop banking. Everything is mobile first on this side of the world. Mobile first wealth creation in banking, in telecom, in crypto, right? We don't speak really about crypto on this channel, but Bitcoin, it's already happening. The fastest adoptive communities of Bitcoin are here on the continent of Africa. And that is very, very, very important when we talk about adopting new technology for the future. The next, these tailwinds are shifting our structure, right? So the next tailwind, commodity repricing. So, Western media has done a very great job. They've done a great job at lying to the public about what is here in Africa and what opportunities are here. And what they've done is created minimal buying interest, because the supply, they've lowered the demand by making it seem like what the supply lacks, right? But the truth is, critical minerals are under the soil of this continent, like lithium, cobalt, magnesium, silver. So many sit under the African soil, and the transition into electric vehicles, the transition into AI and technology is a direct catalyst. And African nations are upping the price on those minerals because they now know the power that they hold. Last but definitely not least is the sovereign debt. Countries are paying off their debt, and they are requiring a different level of partnership from the former Western colonial powers, right? Certain markets have been yielding premiums, but they were unavailable to them because they were in debt. But now the landscape has completely shifted. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, Africa's too risky. It's too risky. You guys have been telling me that for the last 4-5 years since I've started this channel. But the truth is, risk is mispriced. Volatility does not equal permanent losses. But what is risky is ignoring what is happening on the continent of Africa. And if you aren't leveraged currently, you're losing. You're missing out. Every country is different. 54 countries, 54 different regulatory frameworks, 54 different cultural dynamics, sometimes, not necessarily completely different, but there are differences across this continent that also equate to the difference in opportunities, the difference in regulation, the difference in foreign influence. Not a monolith, right? Africa is not that. Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa, Ethiopia, Senegal, these are they're all different. They all have a different risk level, risk profile, and they all have a different level of ROI. You have to know what you're looking for, what's important to you, and enter each market based on your strategy, not based on emotion, right? And we talk to clients specifically about that in our wealth strategy framework. Diversification into Africa, it reduces your overall portfolio correlation, but it makes it so that you're diversified. You're not necessarily just in one market, one currency, one power structure. And that's the goal. Diversify your risk by diversifying across multiple industries, multiple currencies, multiple regulatory environments, right? If you're seeing value in this, please like this video, share it with someone else, and follow along for more. So let's talk about how smart money is actually structured. Real estate is such an antiquated idea of wealth. Now, I am invested in different platforms to support real estate investment. I do help many of my clients purchase real estate for their long-term needs, investment needs, tourism-driven real estate. But the truth is there's so much more than real estate. And I'm invested in different levels of that, right? So I work with clients in private equity that are looking to earn, significant returns, looking for moonshot projects, but also looking for a standard 12 to 18% return. We do support clients that work in real estate, but unless you're looking at tourism-driven real estate, I say nah. So we focus on tourism, high tourism markets, high growth tourism markets, so that people can leverage that opportunity to earn in the short term. Also, infrastructure bonds. I've got infrastructure bonds that I'm holding on to here in South Africa, but also in East Africa. And I hope to open up new accounts this year as well. There's direct investments with maybe a bit of a higher barrier, funds, lower barrier, public equities. These are accessible now. We help people identify what works well for you. Maybe you don't have 6 figures to invest in Africa, but you want to invest. Well, you do still need to do due diligence, but you need to be aware of what that looks like, as well as the proper financial protocols to deploy your capital to these available funds that are available to you, even if you're not based in an African country. But do not do this without a framework. Do not do this without ignoring your foreign currency exposure, right? Your foreign exchange rate exposure, and do not do it without local intelligence. Don't take my word for it, right? Definitely do your own due diligence and invest in trusted advisors that have helped hundreds and even thousands of people be successful in that space as well. So let's talk about a current client that I have that I've been working with. She had an interest in investing in some tourism-driven real estate. This one property developer that I'd actually worked with in the past and think is a very fantastic developer, strong reputation, vetted, strong delivery. But ultimately, the product that they were selling, there were still some things that were lacking in clarity. Property management. What is the real cost going to look like? And while this company was super vetted on delivery of developing, their now property management aspect was a bit lacking. Well, we saved her over $500,000 in making that investment because it wasn't in alignment with her long-term goals. Right? So over $750,000 we saved her because it wasn't in alignment. And instead, she was able to leverage that money to make multiple investments in a market where she hopes to eventually live and is in the process of relocating with her current family. So, our concierge level consultancy, which many people do find as expensive, I mean, it is an investment. We saved her well over 500% of what it costs to hire us, because without us, she would have lost money and been in an investment that wasn't in alignment with her long-term strategic plan. That is strategic framework. That is not luck. And that is exactly what we've created inside of our frameworks, inside of our academy, inside the Africa Wealth Strategy System. It is a structured approach towards identifying, entering, and managing your African investment positions, and doing it with not only strategy, but structure and on-the-ground insight, because the media that you're getting, the news that you're getting is not what we're seeing on the ground. And hey, it's not for everyone. Many of you guys just want to sit online, you want to get information, you want to get inspiration. You'll probably never take action. You'll probably never make an investment, but you'll sit back and you'll watch people grow and you'll celebrate them. And that's great. We love you. Keep liking and sharing this content. But for those that are ready to get invested with strategy, with clarity, with structure, go ahead, click the link in the description, apply to work with us directly in our Africa Wealth Strategy Framework. If you're not a fit for that, we'll definitely recommend that you get on the list, the waiting list, to enroll in the academy so that you can prepare yourself a bit more financially, a bit more from a market research perspective, and get in community with people that are actively investing. Hear from them directly. You'll be able to see and hear their experience, and not only take my word for it, but take real, live, in the moment investors who are expanding their portfolios, investing in real estate, moving abroad, investing in equities, investing in businesses, properties, land, projects, manufacturing, and so much more. Click the link in the description to apply to work with us directly. We review every application with our own due diligence, vetting qualified investors who are ready to take action on what is the most powerful, fastest growing continent on earth in our time. And so if that's you, we look forward to working with you. And until the next video, we'll see you soon.